Welcome or welcome back. I'm Caren, and this is Restorative Yoga for Anxiety Symptom Relief. I also have a class for Depression Symptom Relief because these are often two sides of the same coin. So I'll link that here in case you'd like to also check that out. But for practice today, because it's a restorative yoga practice, we always use props, and you're going to need a bolster. If you don't have one of these, you can use a couch cushion, 2 blankets, and optionally an eye covering like an eye pillow or a simple washcloth. We're going to begin with more active movements because the energy of anxiety is unsettled and restless. So we'll meet that energy, and then we will allow the body to settle and relax through restorative yoga poses. So let's begin in table. And from this table position, we'll move into what's called flying cow. So this is a series of positions like a sun salutation, but lower to the ground. On an inhale, drop through the belly into cow pose. On the exhale, arch through the spine and send your hips back to your heels like child's pose. Then inhale and come to kneeling, swinging the arms wide and up overhead. Then exhale and lower the hands back down as you settle the hips to the heels. Inhale, pull forward into cow pose. And repeat. Exhale, round into cat as you send the hips back. Inhale, lift up to kneeling, arms sweep wide. Exhale, hands lower, hips to heels. Inhale, pull the heart through into cow pose. And one more time, round into cat, hips to heels. Inhale, kneeling, standing strong, lifting up through the arms. Exhale, releasing down to the floor. Inhale into cow. And exhale, last time as we rock the hips back into child's pose, arms forward, forehead touches down to the floor. Start to settle your breath as the body starts to settle. Making an intention for this practice, not necessarily to relax or get rid of any feelings of anxiety, or worry, or tension that you're experiencing, but just to allow them to be here, allowing them a space at the table, just for these moments together. Sometimes all we need is to be met where we're at, to be allowed to feel the way we're feeling. We don't always have to shift right away. Give yourself that permission. And then when you're ready, inhale and lift up. And we'll begin to set up for our first restorative yoga pose, which is supported bridge with one bolster. So you'll take your bolster widthwise across your mat and find your way to a thinly folded blanket as a support for your head. We'll place that down with the bolster about at the midway point of the mat and sit on top of the bolster. Lower yourself onto your back. Dropping the shoulders onto the floor and the head onto the blanket. Here's an option. You can use your eye covering now over top of your eyes if you like. And open your arms into a V with the palms up. Allow the feet to feel effortless, the knees to not sway in or out. So you might need to move your feet back and forth, out or in, until you feel like the knees are effortlessly being held on top. No tension in the legs, no tension in the low back, and all of the weight headed into the backs of the shoulder blades on the floor. Take a couple breaths in and out here, just to arrive in our stillness. And you can feel as you breathe out a natural letting go of the navel and the back body toward the floor with gravity. We won't hold our postures for very long because generally when we're feeling anxious, the last thing we want to do is sit still. So there's also permission to allow yourself to fidget, to move, to shift. We're just watching all of that. So become the person who is watching this happen, watching the body breathe, watching the body move. This witnessing center is not our anxiety. By its very nature, that it can watch the anxiety. So this witness is something different. And in yoga, it is the part of ourselves that is untouched by the struggles of the world. It's always there, stable, just watching. What might it be like to inhabit that space right now? To become the one who's watching these things happen instead of the one who is doing the things. Maybe that gives you a brief reprieve from being in the center of being anxious. It's almost as if you can step outside of it, if just for a moment. We'll let one more breath be here with us, more full breath than before. And as you breathe out, if you have something on your eyes, covering them, take that to the side now. Slide your hands down to the bolster, push into the feet, lift the hips so you can slide the bolster forward and set your pelvis back down. You can extend your legs long if you like, relax the legs, and then choose to roll onto a side. And take your time as you press up. We're going to use this bolster again, so you will turn it lengthwise up the mat. And the blanket that you were using just a moment ago for your head, let's fold that over at least one more time and place this blanket in the square fold. You can find more info about blanket folds in my Restorative Yoga book. We're going to place that here, catty corner, diagonally off of one part of your bolster as we move into a supported half frog. So from this space, take your hands to either side of the bolster. Your right knee is going to open up to the side, snugging the pelvis into the bolster, extend the left leg long, and then lower down. Rest your arms in front of you. And if you have a long enough bolster, you might be able to rest your head there. If your torso and your bolster don't quite match up, then you can pull your other blanket in, fold it over, or roll it up, and rest your head down so there's space for your nose to breathe. The forehead comes down, and the arms are open to the side into a cactus shape with a lot of softness in the shoulders. Now, once you're established in this position, make any other movements that you like so that you're not falling off the bolster, so that you feel really steady and comfortable, including in your right knee and your right ankle. And pay attention to the sensations of your breath against the bolster. Noticing the slight pressure as you breathe in and the complete release as you breathe out. Encourage yourself to relax with every exhale, to just naturally let the exhale guide you closer to the floor, held by the props. A natural, effortless sense of letting go that you don't have to make happen. Just rest into it. Ease into it. And know that it's waiting for you. This sense of support and stability. We'll stay here for a brief moment of silence. Stay with your breath and the sense of letting go. When you're ready, glide your arms inward. Lift your chest. Push into your palms. Start to rise up and back, sliding the right knee toward the left. Move the blanket to the left side of the bolster. And come back forward as you extend the right leg long, the left knee lifts to the side, settling back down. Just as you need on this side so you feel completely supported and held. And when you feel ready to let go, to release into stillness, rest your head and pay attention again to the breath. Just moving at a natural, effortless pace. Allowing whatever's here to be here. It's all welcome. No matter how you're feeling, this too is temporary. Rest now, and I'll let you know when it's time to transition. Again, slide your arms toward the center. Gently engaging the back body to lift. Left knee comes alongside the right. Sitting back toward your heels. And taking a moment with your heart now higher than your hips to breathe in and breathe out and notice how you're feeling. What's starting to shift? What's remaining the same? There's no right or wrong answers here. It's just becoming more aware of what's here so that you can allow it to be here instead of pushing it away or suppressing it. And we're going to transition now into supported child's pose. I like to use a blanket on top of my bolster to create even more height. So I'm going to fold this into a rectangle fold blanket, making it look exactly like the bolster, setting that on top. And then taking the other blanket, a couple options. You can pull it around and over your whole body or just your hips, or you could roll it a little and place it under your ankles if you tend to notice your ankles and your feet feel fatigued or fall asleep here when you're in this position. So I'm going to choose the variation of taking the blanket around the hips and around the body, just for some extra comfort, really wrapping it in, hugging it in here. And with the knees wide on either side of the bolster, lowering your body when you're ready, turning a cheek. And as you rest down, extend the arms in front so the elbows are loose, the shoulders are wide. You can really feel yourself completely relax into your back. As you're settling in, you might notice the sensation of your heartbeat. You might want to close your eyes. Make any last adjustments so that your body feels comfortable to stay and remain for a few moments in stillness. Sometimes it can feel like in our life that we have all the tools and we know what to do when we feel anxious, worried, or tense, but it's hard to get ourselves to do it. I encourage you in this moment to know that this is enough. As you rest here, it might feel helpful to think of something or someone that helps you to feel okay and understood and safe. Maybe it's an animal or a time in your life or a person or a spiritual connection. Whatever it is, conjure a feeling now of being totally secure and at ease in the presence of this thing or being. Allow it to feel like a hug, the embrace of the props, along with this feeling. And take 3 breaths into that, filling up into your back and releasing, letting go. Releasing the image now and allowing yourself to move. Let's turn your head back to the bolster and use your hands to lift your upper body. If you had a blanket around your body, remove that now. Come forward into a table position. You can move the prop slightly as we extend one leg back at a time, allowing there to be a fresh feeling into both knees. And we're going to transition and flip over onto our back for basic relaxation pose. I recommend taking the blanket that you had in your rectangle fold, opening it up, roll the long side, creating a long rolled blanket, and place that all the way at one side of your mat. Turn your bolster widthwise. You can use the other blanket for your head or on top of your whole body. I'm going to fold mine up and use that for underneath the head here. Eye covering ready, and then drape your legs over top of the bolster. Your feet over top of the rolled blanket, so you hook your ankles there, and lie down. Supporting your head comfortably with the blanket. Place your eye covering on top of your eyes. And allow your arms to open to a wide V, palms up or down, whatever feels better for you today. You might also choose to place your hands on your body, toward your abdomen if you like. With the memory of the feeling of security and ease deep into your bones, give yourself a few moments to settle in. And once you feel as though you might be able to rest in stillness and everything is tended to in the body, it feels comfortable for now, then invite yourself to just rest. Knowing that at this moment, there's nothing else you need to do. Nothing you need to tend to or manage or control. That the gift of this moment is permission to do nothing. We'll stay here for a brief time together, and I'll let you know when it's time to return. Notice your breath in your body. Wherever it's moving most obviously, bring your attention there. And as you feel ready to awaken from stillness, perhaps run your fingertips over top of one another, thumb rubbing, and stretch your body however you like. Eventually gathering your knees in one at a time and rolling over to your side, curling into a ball. Pay attention to how you're feeling as you press yourself up to a seat. And bring your palms together in front of your heart. No matter what showed up for you today, know that this time was worth it. Even if you don't feel any different, all of these small moments make a difference over time. We honor all the realized beings who brought the knowledge of yoga to us. And we honor this time we spent together in practice. Release your hands and open your eyes. Thank you so much for practicing with me. Give this video a like, subscribe as always. Always means a lot to practice with you, so I hope you return for even more restorative yoga and other yoga therapy practices, which you can find here on YouTube and my website, CarenBaginski.com.